Hi, this time we should discuss about semi-action plans regarding to the topic I covered, which was culture environment management for aquaculture products. Uh, Mainly, I want to talk about a kind of the action plan uh, when you develop the aquaculture business uh, in Cameroon. So before that, wrapping up some of the things I was talking about in my lectures, the first chapter was covering uh, aquaculture systems and management. So there are a bunch of different types of systems, but mainly we talked about four systems. The first one uh, was pond aquaculture systems, and then flow-through systems, recirculating systems, and cage culture systems. In Cameroon, I believe that you could apply any of those the systems, but mainly now your country are most likely using uh, your country is most likely using pond aquaculture systems. But in the future, some other types of culture systems that can be uh, used. Uh, for example, we also talked about in chapter 3 environment, sustainability. Pond aquaculture can be run in that way, but most likely, recirculating aquaculture system will be the one option you could consider. But for that system, you require many things are required for power and stable fingerling production, and also artificial on the feed. But other than those, and there are more uh, uh, requirement with that recirculating systems. But maybe the stepwise development plans would be desirable from pond aquaculture, so you can uh, move out your business toward to uh, much higher advanced aquaculture systems. To run the aquaculture system very effectively, the first thing you have to do is effectively designing your system. The second one is to learn how to uh, efficiently and effectively run your water quality in your aquaculture systems. As you can see, the figures, the water quality dynamics is very complicated. Sometimes we can call it math. So it is initiated, that kind of dynamics is initiated by the feeding. So the by with as a resultant, all the water quality parameters can be changed and then ever changing in those environment. So we will have to make sure that what is a good water quality firstly to determine what kind of water quality we're going to provide in it, considering fish welfare. Not only environmental management in aquaculture system to make your aquaculture product valuable, more valuable, you also will have to consider the aquaculture impact to natural water bodies. So the one of the good example for certification, those kind of things is ASC certification. So we looked up the criterions of culture environment control for your aqua system in chapter 3. Those are the in table those things you will have to mainly consider to take care of the environmentality and the sustainability uh, for your aquaculture business development. Looking at the state of Cameroon, since 2012, aquaculture production has increased, but still not enough to cover the shortage. So lots of import is coming from other countries to meet the demand of fisheries and aquaculture product. So I believe the continued national effort to enhance the aquaculture sector has been put in place with aid of international donors and organizations since I believe 1960s. However, with those kind of efforts and the support from other countries and donors, because the lack of technical support, continuous support, lack and poor quality of fingerlings and feed, and other issues retarded the growth of the aquaculture business in Cameroon. So looking at some of the data, and mostly small-scale family-owned pond and abandoned ponds are in Cameroon right now because of the low productivity and poor profitability. Those kind of issues are coming from some of issues I already mentioned in C section. So we will have to come up with some of the solutions to cover those kind of issues and problems to settle down the aquaculture business in Cameroon. Considering the situation of aquaculture in Cameroon so far, I believe that the one thing we can consider is developing government-led test bed research and infra facility must be established and operated. That facility is not just for research. It should be like a semi-commercial hatchery and growing facility, potentially provide some of the fingerlings to local fish farmers. And then that facility can be used as a production demonstration education center. So the center bring the farmers and then provide some of the education and training services. By doing so, farmers can learn how to raise fish efficiently and manage the water quality, and at the same time, minimize the impact of aquaculture to natural water body. And one thing more importantly we should consider is about the nurturing aquaculture field extension specialist to promote aquaculture business really good way in short time. The farmers will have to be educated and trained. So without field extension specialists, it might be difficult to go in that way. So using that semi-commercial facility, and Cameroon government will not be comfortable to promote the aquaculture business in sight. The last one is about the construction of basic infrastructure. To develop the aquaculture business and enhance the industry, you will need quite a bit infrastructure because the aquaculture requires quite a bit input into it. So more likely on the feed, the fingerlings, and power, those are the essential to be developed. However, one thing more you have to consider before those kind of infrastructure, Cameroon government will have to determine the national strategic species to develop the nationally supported the value chain more for the species. With that kind of focus, and you can focus on the manufacturing feed, fingerlings for one species, and then later on, that model can be spread into other species. That kind of stepwise development plan and master plan will need to be established. So we can think about then what kind of things we can do to the point that I was mentioning in previous pages. So maybe we can collaborate together, and maybe Cameroon government should prepare for that kind of collaboration. So maybe in Cameroon side, fundamental market analyzing on a strategic species should be done before the collaboration. By doing so, we can prepare better master plan after all. The second one is building up the co-ops team for developing aquaculture business. So to have a powerful driving direction, and I think that might be one of the essential factors in collaboration with our side. And also reorganizing aquaculture policies to support the value chain if needed. So with that kind of preparation, I believe that Korean government could provide some of the programs and some of the project together. The first one easily we can go with is invitational training programs for extension specialists, researchers, policy makers. In connection with the topic I mentioned in the previous section is about some of the initial manpower can be nurtured with this kind of program, and once semi-commercial research and extension center established, and those manpower can have a really good and important role of developing the aquaculture business in Cameroon. And also, we can dispatch experts to Cameroon for technology transfer, maybe a short-term education program, mid or long-term support program can be developed all together. And the third one is, like I said, establishment of master plans for setting up and operating semi-commercial test bed and training facilities. This kind of project could be performed by collaborating with KOICA program and EDCF and World Bank and other international funds. So we can collaborate to bringing those kind of funds in place for developing aquaculture industry in Cameroon. Thank you for listening my lecture and semi-action plans on culture, environment, and management for aquaculture product. In my lecture, I was talking about mainly how to manage inside and outside aquaculture systems. And then one more time, I would like to stress out the sustainability of aquaculture business in the future. Without that kind of consideration, it might be difficult to develop the aquaculture industry. That might be true in Cameroon as well. So not only the production-wise, but also sustainability-wise, when you develop the aquaculture business, you will have to consider all together, putting all the aspects in one basket and collectively come up with really good polish and the way to develop aquaculture technologies. Thank you.